So here's a bunch of cabs that I've trimmed out. This is the one I wanted, and these are scraps. They're still big enough to be cabochons on their own, but this is the one I was going for. It's a piece of Mexican crazy lace, but it's cut across the botryoidal, so it's got some weird geometric patterns, which is pretty cool. Above that is a bunch of smaller pieces of Vistaite. I was gifted these by a friend, and now I'm gonna cut a bunch of cabs out of them. There's 10 there. Most of them have preforms, although these two up here are just gonna be free forms. Next to that is some Moroccan sea maggot, and those will both be free forms. Not sure what they'll become yet. Here's a nice piece of Jasper, unknown location. I thought I'd make a nice big 32 by 58. I don't think this is Vistaite, although it does have the same coloring. It could very well be. It's a Jasper of some kind, and it has very similar colors to Vistaite. So if it is, it's one of the biggest pieces I have. Here's a piece of, I think, Agua Nueva. It's got a nice pattern in it. I'm gonna make a 30 by 40 out of that. Down here is a piece of Kambaba. I'm going to do a teardrop. And then these are the offcuts from that slab. They're, again, still big enough to do stuff with. Here's a piece of green moss from Maury Mountain. It has a quartz pocket in it, so I thought, what the heck, I'll try and do that. And then a couple pieces of offcuts from there. Down below here is a piece of Moroccan agate. It's got some great eyes running through it, and I have two little cabs. They're both going to be ovals that I'm going to try and cut out of those. This was a piece of tiger eye that broke on me, so I flipped it over, and I'm going to try and get a couple smaller cabs out of it. Above that we have some Gary Green. Oh no, this is tiger eye, sorry, variegated tiger eye. A couple more calves of that. This is Mexican plume agate, and a couple other pieces there that are big enough to do stuff with. They might be free forms, they may be standard cabs later, but for now I just trimmed them down to size because there was a fracture here, and so I went ahead and just finished it off. I'm not sure where this is from. I'm pretty sure it's a Jasper. There's one spot that's kind of punky. I think I cut that off down in this area. So I'm hoping to get a nice little cab out of that. This is a rainbow. I don't know if it's going to show very well. Rainbow obsidian. Couple pieces of Arizona wood that'll be free form. This is gold sheen obsidian. Here's a piece of Brazilian agate. This was sold as gem grade. I don't think it's gem grade, but it's got kind of a natural heart going on, so I may do something like that. It'll be a free form if it is. There's a piece of Brazilian that's got some unusual eye effects going on in there. So I'll do that. Here's a piece of, I think this is either Montana or India agate. I found a moss in both of them. It's probably Montana though. I have a more abundance of that. Here's a piece of petrified wood. I believe this is Saddle Mountain. And then these are the offcuts from that. Again, still big enough to do something with, so I don't just throw them in the tumbler. I come down here a little ways. These three are a set. They're going to be teardrops of necklace and earrings. They are going to be, these are from Gary Green, Larsenite, Freedom Jasper, take your pick. And then there's a couple chunks of big enough to do something with. Another piece of Jasper. Apparently I paid $2 for the slab. That might have been from the same piece. I think it is. Do a little teardrop there. Down here, these 3 pieces are all from the same chunk. They are Kerry plume, which is hard to get nowadays. You can kind of see it. It's pretty thick. So these will be freeforms based on the plume within. Above that, I have also more Kerry plume, a lot thinner. But you can see this one has got plume running all through it. I'm still going to try and cut a cab. And if I do, it'll be very thin, shallow dome. But it'll be fun to play with. This is, I think, well, it's either dendritic agate or it's amethyst sage, but there's no purple in it. And what's strange is the outside's covered with opal, but the inside's a good solid agate. Here's a chunk of Brazilian that was just a long, thin piece. So I'm going to play with it and see if I can't get a long, thin cab out of it, some kind, teardrop or something like that. Here's a chunk of Gary Green that is offcut from these other ones. And who knows what that'll become. And then another chunk of obsidian. As you can see, it's got some rainbow in there. This isn't quite the right light for it. Here's a piece of petrified wood that's got some really nice herringbone pattern. And it's good and solid, so that should make a nice cabochon. Up here is a piece of Brazilian. It was broken in half. As you can see, this one has a little bit of amethyst in there. This did have, but by the time I shaped it, this is in process, I guess. Most of the amethyst has gone away, but that'll still make a nice, what do they call that, bear claw or something like that, you know? And there's the other half of it, and that'll eventually will do something. I'm gonna try and keep the amethyst in there. We'll see. Down below, there's a couple pieces of mosarkite, which is a flint, I believe. And I haven't decided what to do with it yet, so I just cut it down. I cut it in half, and I'll either do freeforms or I'll draw whatever piece I want to do on it later. For now, though, I just cut it down to something sizable, more usable. This is Australian ribbon jasper. I just thought the pattern looked really cool. It's a little thin right here, so that some of this will go away, but I want to keep as much of the ribbon as I can. This is a piece of moss. I'm not sure the location. I just thought it was nice looking. It feels like it's pretty solid. That little black spot is a blemish though, so I might have to do this side. But I like the pattern, so I decided to go ahead and keep it. And then this is a green jasper. Unfortunately, I don't know where it's from, but it's got really nice color to it. So I'm gonna do a free form of some kind to get that to come out. So that's what I just ran through the trim saw a couple days ago. And now I gotta start shaping these up and getting them ready to cab.